If you've been coaching for a few months, a year, or maybe two, you're probably beginning to notice that there are patterns in the things you do with your clients. Maybe you're noticing processes, a step-by-step system. Maybe you're using the same tools, the same sequence, and you're, of course, achieving the same consistent results. If that is the case, you're definitely in a good place to start designing your own signature program. So, what is a signature program? A signature program is a coaching program that becomes the core of your business. It's your flagship offer. It's a structured journey that you take people through. They come in at their struggle, so their strongest pain point, and then leave with their dream outcome. Everything in between is your signature program. It's basically a unique way in which you help people go from their struggle to their desired outcome. It's your method. It's your unique way of walking them from where they are to where they want to be. And every coach is going to create a different signature program. It's going to help you build your authority, and it's going to be really good for your business. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephanie Fiteni. I am a marketing coach for coaches and business mentor for online coaches, and I help coaches build online marketing. I help coaches build online businesses that they love. So let's talk first about why you actually need a signature program, because this is a question I get asked so much. So the first thing is when you design your signature program, you're going to have to pick your ideal client, a very specific type of ideal client. So if you've been working with all kinds of different clients, when you come to creating your signature program, it means your business is ripe for a little bit of further niching. What's going to happen is that when you create your signature program, you want it to attract your exact specific ideal clients. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But for now, you need to know that is exactly why you create your signature program, because you can attract more and more of your ideal clients when you do that. It also makes the delivery of the program easier. And I can also add to that the sales of the program easier. It helps you align everything and make everything really specific. The program is specific. The ideal client's targeting is specific. So it's going to make everything really much simpler for yourself to deliver, and also for the clients or the prospects to understand that is right for them. This puts you in a position where you're also in a very good position to scale. You're going to know who your ideal client is. You're going to know what they're looking for from you. You're going to develop your messaging further, and it's going to allow you to bring more of the same kind of people into your funnel, into your discovery calls, and help you scale your program and your business, potentially even turning it into a group program if you start off as one-to-one, which is, by the way, always advisable. It's also going to really build your authority. It's going to help you with your personal brand as a coach. And one of the things it does is it kind of makes the competition a little bit irrelevant. In fact, if you know me and you know my content, you've probably seen that I actually have trained a number of my competitors, and I have actually taught them my signature system. And the main reason why I do this is because I believe that there is no real competition, especially when you use this process. When you have a program that is so specific, very often, even if you help people achieve a similar outcome, it's very unlikely that there are two coaches that are actually dealing with exactly the same ideal client. So when you're creating a signature program, in a way, you're making the competition irrelevant, because to the right kind of person, you will be the only option. Your signature program will be the only option. I can already see you scratching your head and you're wondering, oh my goodness, how am I going to achieve this? So I'm going to break down the process for you. So the first thing is to pick your best, most profitable ideal client. It's not any ideal client. It's not the one with whom you have the most laughs, although it would be great if they were that one as well. But you do want to make sure that they are the most profitable. So because obviously this has to be scalable. You're going to get more of these people if you choose a client that cannot pay you, or, maybe it's not that profitable. As soon as you scale it and you add more people, you're going to amplify that problem. So what you want to do is you ideally want to pick your most profitable. A good example of this would be, I don't know, let's say you are a life coach and you help people who have very stressful lives reduce their anxiety, and find more time for themselves, have a better life, the usual, make them happier. That's what life coaches are for, and that's why I like them. So basically, what you want to do here is you want to make sure that the kind of ideal client that you pick obviously has this pain point, the stress. But let's say you might be dealing with people who are maybe single moms, and have kids and have to work. They may not be very capable of paying you. You want to help them, sure, but you can do that in other ways in your business. Picking a signature program to serve them, probably not the best decision. Your best decision would probably be to take a look and maybe work with C-suite professionals who are also mothers and have a very busy life. Why is this better? Because you are positioning them as someone who can already pay you. You don't need to worry about the payment side. You only need to worry about delivering and make them as happy as you possibly can. So as you can see, it's important to pick the profitable one. Of course, you do need to pick clients you enjoy working with. So definitely do pick clients that you enjoy working with. Do pick clients that you want to work with, because you're going to have more and more and more of these. So if you pick the wrong one, you're just going to make yourself unhappy. And of course, that's not what we want. Step 2 is to understand their journey. And you should definitely, by the time you decide to create your signature program, be in a position where you understand their journey. And their journey starts usually at the struggle where they come in, and takes you step by step all the way to a place where they have resolved, they have gotten what they want, the reason why they joined your program. So, their life should look a lot better. So you can understand the journey by focusing on the struggle, focusing on the outcome, and filling in the gaps in between with all these patterns, all these tools, all these little steps that you have been using with them, that you have seen emerge in your business over the last, months, maybe years. Step 3 is to make sure that you build everything. So you build the program around your strengths. So you want to make sure that you're not sort of, I don't know, if you have different talents, let's take myself as an example. When I started coaching online, I could do a lot of things because I was just coming. I had a business before, which was a full service marketing agency. So I could do everything. I could do social media. I could do social media. I could do SEO. I could do blogging. I could do video. I could do ads, Facebook ads, Google ads. But I would say, for instance, that maybe at that time, of course, not all of those things were my core strength. So, for instance, social media, certain platforms were easy, like Facebook, but I wouldn't have called, for instance, other social media platforms part of my strength. So what I did was I actually moved away from that. I focused on my core strength, which was SEO and blogging and ranking articles and video on the first page of Google, which is what I still do with my clients. I focused on that, and I created my signature system based on that. So the next step, after picking the strengths you're going to build on, is to map out the steps. Of course, you want to map out the steps very clearly. You want to break them down in a way that your clients can really understand, and especially that your prospects can understand. So if you can create a visual for it, it's really going to help you on your discovery calls. One of the things I show my prospects on discovery calls is the whole process that I can take people through. Some people want me to help them with part of the journey, and some people, the ones who pick my signature program, want me to help them with the whole journey. So when you make it visual, it becomes really easy for people to see what they need, and that becomes a very important part of the process. The next thing is the bonuses. So you want to add some bonuses. Again, you don't have to do this off the bat. You don't have to do this from day one, but it's something that you can do as you go along. For instance, one of the most common objections that I got in the beginning is because I work with mostly coaches who are in their first year and their first few months of their business. Some of them are actually still just finishing their free coaching as they do the ICF or any other sort of coaching qualification. And one of the objections that I used to get a lot was, hey, but I haven't finished building my website yet, or I don't have a website. I don't really have a budget for a web designer. So I created this program, which is how to set up your own self-hosted WordPress site in 48 hours or less. And I used to gift it to the right people, the ones who actually needed to build their website. And of course, I would also support them in the process, which was a double bonus for them. So if your clients or your prospects, they keep coming up with the same objection, why they cannot buy your program, think bonuses, think how can I support them? Maybe how can I extend? One thing a lot of clients, a lot of prospects used to struggle with as well was niching. And that's not something I used to do before, but it's something that I could really help them with, because I actually had a mini course a long time ago where that's what I used to help my clients with. And it's something I also used to sometimes help people with when I was a web consultant. So I thought, let me add that to my signature program. I'm extending the journey and I'm making sure that I can actually help people from A to Z on this journey that I specialize in. Okay, step 6, and it's going to be very necessary because human nature is just not built for simplifying stuff. Step 6 is to simplify. So take a look at what you've created. Take a look at your ideas, your process, your mapping of the program, and simplify it. Take out all those things that you don't need. And there's always going to be things you don't need. For instance, in my case, I used to help my clients by going through the niche, then doing research, getting the ideal client, research and persona together, doing the customer journey, then going to keyword research and, creating the whole content plan and teaching them, how to rank on the first page of Google. And then I realized that maybe we could skip the customer journey, because if I ask the right questions in the right order, in the right way, in the first couple of sessions, we could kind of have that integrated into the ideal client persona. And what that did was it actually simplified the process. It took out a lot of marketing explanations that maybe the clients didn't really need to know. And it just made the whole process simpler and made it simpler for me, made it simpler for my clients, and made also their results more consistent, because suddenly the process was easier to follow for more people. So think about that. How can I make the process simpler so that it's better for more people? So more people can actually understand it completely thoroughly. Okay, so then we have step 7. Step 7 is focusing on your messaging. And if you've done all the other steps right, this is going to be the cherry on the cake. It's going to be that one thing that makes people take one look at your signature program and say, wow, this is exactly what I was looking for. And this is how you completely obliterate the competition, because you don't have competition anymore, because you have created the perfect solution for exactly the kind of people you want to work with. And no matter how many other coaches there are, it's extremely unlikely that they're dealing with exactly the same kind of ideal client. So by niching to that one type, you're actually doing yourself a favor. But then you have to wrap it all in the right messaging, because these people need to understand that you are the best possible solution and the simplest and most, with a signature program, you also are the sure answer to that problem, because you very clearly can show them on your discovery call that you're going to walk them from the struggle to the actual solution. In your messaging, what you need to do is actually let them know that you really know their struggle, and that your signature system is actually, your method has been built exactly for them to help them reach their desired outcome. You can do this obviously by keeping the messaging simple. You manage that, and your sales, you will never need to sell a day. in your life, because all you need to do is put the right people in front of the signature program. And step 8 is the one thing you have to do with absolutely everything in your business, which is basically launch and improve. So iterations, make sure that you find ways of launching, whether you're, promoting through blogging, keep that going, get people into the funnel, whether you're doing with webinars, keep that going, keep improving. So doing more and more iterations, getting more and more people on discovery calls, improving your process, improving also how you talk about it. This is all becomes a cycle, because the more people you work with, the more information you want to collect. So a very important part of the process is to actually put listeners here and there, where you want to have a little feedback form and ask a few questions at the end of the program. You want to have some questions in your onboarding form. You want to also, get curious when you're working with your clients. Ask questions, gather as much information as possible. Just be excited and determined about putting more and more value into your program, making sure that more and more people are getting the best possible outcome when they go on the journey of your signature program. And by constantly being in that loop, you're going to end up with a really strong business that you can scale in the long run. Now, those were all the steps. I know that you probably have some questions. If you would like to talk to me, I'm going to put the link underneath this video. You can book a free consultation with me, a free discovery call. And if you would like to simply read an article that gives you all the information that I just shared with you, but gives you a little bit of time to absorb it more slowly, there's also a link to the blog post on my website about the same topic. There's the link underneath this video, so go ahead. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and follow, so that you can also keep in touch and hear and watch the next videos. Take care for now.